The night had fallen over the city like a velvet curtain, soft and heavy, shutting out the chaos of the day. Inside the quiet room, the air felt warmer, closer, as though it had been waiting for this moment just as much as the two women within it. Mevika stood near the edge of the bed, her hands hanging loosely at her sides, though she wasn't entirely sure what to do with them. Her pulse was louder than the faint hum of the air conditioner. In the low light, she could see Aiwarin watching her, gaze steady, as if reading every thought flickering across her face. There was a strange comfort in that, being seen so clearly without needing to say a word. And yet, that same gaze made her want to look away, afraid Aiwarin might notice just how curious she truly was. For a moment, the silence stretched between them like a taut string, vibrating with something unspoken. Then, almost without realizing, Mevika took a single step forward. Her fingertips brushed against Aiwarin's side. A fleeting touch, but enough to make Aiwarin's lips curve ever so slightly. "You're not wearing a bra," Mevika murmured, her tone half teasing, half testing. Aiwarin didn't flinch. "It depends on what I wear to the bar," she replied softly, eyes never leaving Mevika's. "Most of the time, I don't." The response made Meva's lips twitch into a smirk. "No bra at the bar?" Aiwarin chuckled, the sound low and warm, and for a second, the tension eased. But then her gaze drifted lower, not in a way that felt crude, but in a way that felt like gravity, pulling them closer without either of them moving. It was then Mevika noticed a tension shift, eyes flickering toward her chest. Before Aiwarin could even ask, Mevika answered with a hint of pride in her voice. "My dress has a built-in bra." She paused, letting the meaning linger between them. "Which means, once the dress comes off, there's nothing left to remove." That earned her another faint smile from Aiwarin, one that promised more than words could. Mevika's gaze, in turn, slid to the partially undone blazer Aiwarin was wearing. One button had already been undone. Only two more stood between her and the skin beneath. Aiwarin noticed her hesitation and, instead of pushing, spoke softly, almost daringly. "If you want to do something, go ahead." The permission, spoken so simply, made Mevika's breath hitch. But she shook her head slightly, leaning in until her lips brushed the shell of Aiwarin's ear. "I'd rather save it for the bed." That was all the encouragement Aiwarin needed. Her hands found Mevika's waist, firm but not forceful, guiding her backward. Their steps matched, slow and deliberate, until the backs of Mevika's knees pressed into the plush mattress. She let herself sink onto it, moving to the center, her posture caught between composure and anticipation. Aiwarin followed, closing the distance between them with quiet determination. Their lips met again, slower this time, but deeper, a kiss that carried the weight of all the words neither could say aloud. Mevika's hands instinctively rested on Aiwarin's shoulders, feeling the steady rise and fall of her breath. Aiwarin's fingers moved with precision, sliding under Mevika's arms to wrap around her back. They traced the path upward, stopping at the delicate ties of her dress. With a careful tug, she loosened them, feeling the fabric slacken and slide. The straps fell from Mevika's shoulders like a whispered secret, and Aiwarin pressed a kiss to the faint line they left behind. The air between them was warm, heavy, but the cool brush of the room's air conditioning against Mevika's newly bared skin sent a shiver through her. She couldn't tell if it was from the temperature or from Aiwarin's closeness. What she did know was that her heart was racing for reasons she'd never felt before. Aiwarin took her time, her touches unhurried, as though memorizing every detail. Mevika, for her part, found herself leaning into each kiss, each feather-light brush of fingers, unsure when she had stopped thinking about anything else. When Aiwarin shrugged out of her blazer completely, tossing it carelessly to the edge of the bed, Mevika's eyes caught on the sight of her. The elegant line of her shoulders, the quiet strength in her arms. For someone usually unshaken, Aiwarin seemed for just a moment aware of being seen. The vulnerability passed quickly, replaced by something more intent. Her lips returned to Mevika's neck, lingering at the curve just below her ear, and Mevika tilted her head, granting silent permission. Mevika had always thought intimacy was an exciting concept in theory, but for her, it had always stayed just that, a theory. She'd never met anyone who made her feel safe enough to explore it. She had wondered privately if maybe she just wasn't made for it, if maybe she would go her whole life without truly wanting someone. But now, with Aiwarin so close, those quiet doubts were dissolving. She realized it wasn't that she was incapable. She had simply never met the right person to awaken that part of her. The air between them thickened with each breath, each shift of weight. Aiwarin seemed to sense every change in Mevika's breathing, every subtle sound she made, adjusting her touch in response. It felt like a wordless conversation, one that Mevika didn't want to end. When they finally pulled back for air, Aiwarin surprised her by pressing a gentle kiss to her forehead, a gesture unexpectedly tender in contrast to the heat of the moment. "Do you like it?" she asked, her voice quiet but certain. Mevika tried to mask her answer with a small shrug, playing coy. "It's not bad." Aiwarin didn't take the bait. "I want a direct answer. Do you like it? If I say yes, what happens? Then I'll do it again." Mevika arched an eyebrow. "And if I say no?" Aiwarin's smirk deepened. "Then I'll keep trying until you do." It made Mevika laugh, though the sound was softer than usual, almost shy. "No matter what I say, you get the advantage." "Only with you," Aiwarin replied. "I don't ask everyone." "Then I guess it's an honor," Mevika said. And while the words could have been sarcasm, there was truth in them too. Aiwarin's gaze searched hers. "So, are you going to answer?" Instead of replying directly, Mevika shifted, pushing gently until Aiwarin leaned back. And in one smooth motion, she was the one hovering above. "Do you want me to answer in words or something else?" Aiwarin's lips curved. "As you wish." And in that moment, it was clear the night was far from over. The question was no longer whether Mevika would let Aiwarin in. The question was how far they were willing to go, and what would happen when morning came. In secret harmony, one night can change everything. And for these two women, this night is only the beginning. And that was just one scene. In secret harmony, moments like these aren't just about touch. They're about trust, desire, and the slow unraveling of two guarded hearts. If this night between Mevika and Aiwarin already has you hooked, just wait until you see how their story twists, deepens, and tests them in the chapters ahead. Don't miss the next preview. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and join me as we dive deeper into this world of secrets, temptation, and unexpected love. Because in secret harmony, one moment can change everything. And this was only the beginning.